A transfer of rulership is coming, and the kingdom of heaven will be on earth. Righteousness will be spread throughout the whole four corners of the earth. Wickedness will be put down.
The Lord promised better things for us, okay? Because the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, has a favorite people. And He's going to give this favorite people a heavenly kingdom. A kingdom that's blueprinted and formatted and patterned after His mind. How He want a kingdom to be.
This is what it looks like to be seduced by a demonic spirit and the destruction the rap culture has on the black community. You hear the lyrics? It say the end is dead, the end is dead. And they are in it. They are happy. They are celebrating this. This generation glorifies death. They feel like it's a rite of passage. This is wickedness and demonicness on a whole another level. As soon as this concert is over, they're going to take their little substances. They're going to go get their pew-pews, and they're going to terrorize their communities. Rap culture is a disease on the black community as it stands now. And a lot of y'all parents purchase these tickets because, let's just be real about it, it's only probably Gen Z and Alpha, maybe some.
Which ones?
Like the
Religious?
Yeah.
As I see it, I just grab it. Man, this shit very demanding. This whole industry, this whole system, all this shit demanding. It's very, all this shit ran off of money. All this shit do not mean nothing. It's very demanding. This whole music industry is very demanding. As I saw the crosses in the Jesus piece, I just grabbed it. It really don't mean nothing. And as I say, this shit demanding. I'm very demanding. Man, there's a lot of devils that's coming in and out my door. So I'm a child of God. You see my Jesus piece, you see my crosses. So as I tell you, this shit very demonic and scary around here. I'm talking about the shit that's coming in and out my doors, what I'm trying to protect myself from. So as I see the Jesus piece or the crosses, I just grab it.
No cool, take off, cause I know these niggas like them. No suit, yeah, big boss. I'm knowing I ain't heard not a young nigga saying double back twice in a row. 3 bitches pockets, I left my home. What the fucking deal is that? Let's go. Let's do it. I see the right woman like she. Bastard. Put up in that rose in a truck, nigga. Bastard. Play no shit, nigga, straight from out the jump, nigga. Come on all these hoes like a pimp, nigga. Bastard. Play on with my bros, we gon' sell, we get bastard. Creep down on shore and get that clap on me.
What in the actual ritual?
Souls in pain.
What's wrong with his eyes?
The performance started with Youngboy in a casket that was slowly descending from the ceiling as he began rapping, with the stage being set up to resemble a sinister-looking cemetery with a green tent. There he was floating, looking down at his thousands of fans cheering him on. The performance had elaborate set pieces and hyped up songs that led to a high-energy reunion with the fans. People quickly began posting videos on social media, showing how much they were enjoying themselves, showing themselves listening to the music, singing along, and showing off the stage. While everyone seemed to be having a blast, they all clearly failed to realize the overall dark look of it all, as Youngboy's set design appeared like a graveyard, with tombstones all behind him. Add this with the image of him climbing out of the casket, it all gave an overall dark feeling. The entire show had this mysterious dark imagery that at some points even resembled hell. While the stage was set up like a cemetery, you can see a statue of an angel behind him. The angel was meant to represent a fallen angel. At one point you see Youngboy performing on stage while everything behind him begins to burn down. It wasn't hard to see that the energy was dark with this performance. Most people were seeing all of this imagery, completely unaware of what Youngboy was trying to tell them. Believe it or not, this isn't just random imagery. There is actually a seriously sinister message behind this performance. Asa performance is the final process of this death and rebirth ritual NBA Youngboy's in the middle of, when Youngboy is reborn as an enlightened soul. They don't even hide this either. If you search what the significance of Youngboy's casket imagery in his performance is, they straight up tell you it was meant to represent a death and rebirth. This imagery is heavily utilized in Masonry, as they have plenty of casket symbols that represents this process of the death and rebirth ritual. The performance itself represents this moment of rebirth, as Youngboy is seen rising out of a casket, which indicates a resurrection. His audience is watching him go through this ritual and are participating in it without their knowledge. They don't even realize their energy is being used to fuel this ritual. She revealed that the government has the masses under a spell. She told Tasha K that the government is hiding the truth about magic and witchcraft from the masses, claiming that they're doing this in order to keep it to themselves. They want to make sure that they are the only ones with access to the magic and are the only ones able to use it against the masses.
You're here to dispel, because people think they call you a witch.
Okay, and what's the problem?
I guess with the branding and, ever since storybooks or fables, any storybook that I can remember in school, witches were bad.
Yeah, that's what they teach you. Yeah. So you don't tap into your power. I mean, why would I tell you that I'm doing a spell on you? I'm going to tell you that spells are bad so that I can do it on you. That's how I feel like society manipulates people, because it's been sensationalized. Like, oh, witchcraft is bad, witchcraft is this, but they're doing witchcraft on you. So yeah, we're all under spell.
Explain that. Who is who?
The government.
The government's doing witchcraft on people.
Yeah, our money has sigils on it.
Please elaborate, please. I've heard of something like that, but I just be like,
yeah,
here go the wormhole YouTube.
Yeah, we can go before we go down the wormhole, but I'll give it like a surface level.
Go ahead.
So if you look at the dollar, first of all, it's a dead president on it. It's an ancestor.
Okay.
Off the rip, right? So when you look at the different pyramids and certain lines and how they print their money, it's all a spell. It's all a ritual, right? So every time you touch money, even psychologically, when you're thinking about money, it is all outlined to you. Subliminal, everything you watch is subliminal. When you think about it, your music is subliminal, the 808s, all the beats, everything, they are 100% controlling us. Yes. So if you know that you're being controlled, now you can't be controlled anymore. But if you don't know, they can continue to control you. And that's what's happening. So, and that's what I meant by people that are manipulated by media, by what they're seeing on TV, by their music. If they don't know that they're being manipulated, it works. If they're awakened and protected from it, it does not. The slave that is enslaved and know he's a slave will revolt. The slave that doesn't believe that he's enslaved, the slave that thinks that he's being helped, he's being manipulated, will always remain a slave. He's never going to revolt. That literally happens today, all the time.
Give me an example.
Okay, so what I meant by the media, right? Okay. Yeah. When people think of success, they say, okay, I need to go out, I need to buy a mansion, I need to buy a Maybach, I need to do this, I need to do that. That is not really what they want. That's what they're being told they want. So they will really be a slave, like going to work 9 to 5, doing this, doing that, not saying nothing's wrong with 9 to 5. Yeah, exactly. What I mean is, if that is not your gift, that is not your calling, you're just doing it to get what looks like success, you are being manipulated. And you are a worker for these big corporations that do not have to work now. Because you've already went through school, which basically is either a pipeline for you to be a worker, or you're going to prison, Listen to this real quick. Schools, the cafeterias look exactly like the cafeterias in a prison.
As much as I don't support witchcraft and talk against it, I can't deny that this witch is speaking facts. While I might not agree with what this woman does for a living and what she's involved in, what she is saying about the elites is all facts. The elite have definitely put the masses under one big spell. They have the masses completely controlled using ancient forms of witchcraft and occult knowledge. She is also correct about money being used as a spell on people, bringing up the occult symbols found all over the dollar bill. The fact that the dollar bill has pictures of dead presidents on them, presidents that were all
hip-hop gangster rap being orchestrated by record companies for the benefit of private prisons. And this is really, I would argue, part of a much larger scandal here, because if you're familiar with Gary Webb in the Dark Alliance about crack cocaine exploding involving CIA and the Iran-Contra network, you have weapons flooding these areas, you have drugs flooding these areas. Why is that significant? Well, the Promise Software scandal I mentioned earlier is very complex again, but one of the main players in that is Wackenhut. And another one of the main players in that is MCA, the Music Corporation of America. Basically, its subsequent iterations come to dominate hip-hop in that period. And Wackenhut, which is now Geo Group, is was then and still is now one of the main private prison companies in the U.S. And then Clinton passes the crime bill that, in 1994 that basically makes all of these things offenses and makes it much easier
floods the prisons
to fill the prisons. And what are some of the companies that end up using prison labor around this time? Well, Leslie Wexner's Victoria's Secret is one. And another company that I believe still uses it is General Dynamics, which is Lester Crown's company. Lester Crown being one of the mega group guys. Some of the biggest corporations in the world. One of them is Walmart, which has longstanding ties to the Clinton family, the Waltons. It's free slave labor.
Free slave
basically.
labor, yeah.